Welcome to the Running Network Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
Hi, sports fans. It's Larry Eder and Gary Morgan with the Gary and Larry Show, and our guest today is Golden Harper. And you're with the Altra brand, and you're the founder of the Altra brand.
Indeed.
And we're reviewing you in May, Running Network publications on our websites too.
Fantastic.
You're one of the 8 shoes to be recommended.
All right.
And
I like that.
Craig has talked about your product glowingly. Tell us how you got started. Tell us a little about your product.
Okay, so we got started actually, I manage a run shop that my family runs, and my dad actually blew his knee out. And he had to run with perfect technique for his knees not to hurt. And so he always modified his shoes to get his knees not to hurt. He would drill holes in the back, rip the rubber off the heel so the shoe would balance more. So we'd get more of like this kind of effect here where the shoe doesn't go one which balances. And so it doesn't mess with the runner's stride, allows them to run more naturally with less impact.
Okay.
And we noticed that our athletes that we were selling shoes to, they looked great in their racing flats, they looked great on their cross-country shoes or track spikes, but when they were running in the shoes, the training shoes we sold them with the elevated heels, like 99% of all running shoes, they looked terrible. Their form came apart. And so we started to look for a way to improve their technique. And we started cutting the heels out of traditional running shoes to get the heel and the forefoot the same distance off the ground to get them to balance and so they could run better. And we found as soon as we did that, they ran with better technique. And a short time later, some big shoe guys that are ex-Nike and Adidas guys called us up and said they wanted to do this, and they didn't have a marketing story, and by the way, you guys don't know how to make shoes. And so we were like, okay, let's get together. And then the rest is history, and we've been to hell and back 50 times since, and it's
How long
it's been
have you been
great.
doing it? 2 years?
We started about 3 years ago,
Okay.
so got our first shoes out a little over a year ago. Yep.
Now, take us through some of your top shoes.
Okay, top shoe, our best seller is the Instinct here.
Okay.
And all of our shoes are 0 drop, so heel and toe are the exact same thickness.
Right.
It's the way you're born. It's the way you get out of bed every morning.
Sure.
Okay? They're also shaped like feet. So same thing there. It's just natural. We're putting your body in a position to succeed, basically.
Okay. All right.
And so the Instinct is our neutral cushion shoe. Has the same amount of cushioning as a traditional running shoe in the front of the shoe.
All right.
So where a traditional running shoe would be 12 millimeters in the front and 24 millimeters in the heel, we'd be 12 millimeters in the front, 12 millimeters in the heel. So that's the Instinct. It's been a great shoe for us. And the Intuition is the woman's specific version.
Excuse me, what is the retail for?
Retail is $94.99.
Oh, that's a good price. You're in the right, you're in the sweet spot. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then right now the shoe we're really hot on is the Provision and the Provision S for women.
Okay.
And this is a stability version of the Instinct. So a little bit firmer, a little bit more cushion. And the problem we found with traditional stability shoes is they tend to push up in the arch area, and they have a harder material here that deforms less over time. So the longer people wear the shoes, the more it pushes up in the arch, the more their foot is in a bad position, and the weaker their feet get because it's taking their arch out of play. So we came up with a solution to that, and it's the removable stability wedge. It's thick on the inside. It's the same heel, arch, and toe. So heel, arch, toe are all the same thickness. On the lateral side, it's paper thin, so it's a ramp. It's, it slides. And so what it does is it takes people that have drop-in arches or fallen arches or knock knees, and it helps reposition that foot back into space. And when their feet get strong enough that they don't need it anymore, they can just take it out of the shoe. So
is that like a Varus wedge?
It is. That's exactly what it is. It's just a Varus wedge, full-length Varus wedge.
You got any old Brooks guys in your group too?
We might.
I'm curious. Yeah.
This one actually came straight from me, though.
That's a great idea. No, I like it.
But the old Brooks guys were pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. So that's what we're real hot with right now. And the other thing is, all of our women's shoes, we're the only dual-gender running company making truly female-specific shoes. So unlike other brands, we don't just shrink it, take some volume off the top, and pink it.
Okay.
The woman's last totally different. Longer arch, higher instep, different shape, narrower heel, narrower midfoot, wider heel or wider forefoot, different metatarsal positioning. I mean, just totally different across the board.
Now, people who have had some heel issues, is this kind of a product that you would recommend for them?
The idea is to take the pressure off of any spot on the body, basically, especially the heel, because you don't have this ramp angle that's putting pressure on the heel. So it's going to distribute your weight much more evenly across your body instead of having it on that heel because the heel's elevated.
Cool.
So if we're standing around all day like we're doing at the expos, it's fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what would you tell someone who's looking at a minimalist shoe and is worn, they're wearing a traditional running shoe now? Is it something they need to build themselves into? Is it?
Yeah, and
what are your recommendations?
Absolutely, and it also depends on the amount of cushioning.
Okay.
So, I mean, to transition to a purely minimalist shoe, like the Samson here, which is similar to like a Vibram 5-finger or a New Balance Minimus,
sure,
that could be a 6-month to 1 year long transition.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people that's not practical, especially for distance. A lot of us that work here at the company, we're ultra marathoners.
Sure.
So we were ultra guys altering shoes, hence the name Altra.
Yes. Well, and thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Good luck with everything.
Appreciate it.
It's a lot of fun. You got a lot of people here.
It's great. Yeah.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
For the Gary and Larry Show, ta-ta for now.